Hey everybody, Lori Barcolini here. I just wanted to talk to you about 12 Emergency, happynaturalhorse.com, helping you help your horses. So this is an article on the Equine Wellness magazine. It's from a vet, and the top specialists shed light on the top 12 emergencies. So we're going to go over lacerations. Okay, number one. It's the number one. Cause of laceration are multifunctional, combination of equine curiosity, sometimes just plain bad luck, thunderstorms, fireworks, holes, groundhog holes, barn doors, people not training the horses right. Let's see, anti-inflammatories. Depending on the size and location of the wound, your veterinarian may elect to do anti-inflammatories, which is bute, antibiotics indicated, and possible infection. So I go here, and I wish I knew how to get to this tab, but I don't. So this is my book, Natural Equine Remedies, and we're going to go to wounds, and basically the first thing you need is trace minerals. Always have trace minerals in your barn, in your tack room, and what trace minerals do is they stop bleeding right away. Do not have the trace minerals from Dynamite wound balm, then, or they call it wound now. So let's see. So I go, that would be under wounds. Let's see, there it is, wound remedies. So out of the top 12, the first top is lacerations, which are, things that are sharp, and the horse gets, cut legs, cut tendons, he gets wounds. So, so these are the remedies that I would do as you're calling your vet. So what you would do is you would call your vet. Hey! You would call your vet while you're waiting for your vet to arrive. You would put the trace minerals, clean off the wound, and put the trace minerals in there. If you do not have trace minerals, okay, then you would use black pepper, works for stopping blood, and cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is excellent, okay? Will stop the bleeding. Vetricin is really good. It works, and you can buy it at this Amazon. And then you want to give it the homeopathic arnica pills every hour on the hour for the first 4 hours. And if there's swelling, you want to add the Welsh Tox initial treatment, and then maybe some Apis for the swelling. So the Apis will bring down the swelling too. And you clean out the wound with bentonite scrub or any kind of iodine, and let it bleed a little bit if it's got junk in it, and then put the trace minerals there. And if you can seal it, that'd be great. You can put some, if it's a small wound, you can put clay over the wound with just a little bit of trace minerals. If you don't have the trace minerals, you can try and use a little bit of tea tree oil, and that might help. So if you're going to stall him, if it's on his legs and tendons, I only stall for probably about 3 days tops. I know vets tell you to stall more, but the wound, if it's closing up pretty well, if the movement, believe it or not, is going to help a lot. And you want to keep somebody with him. So trace mineral is number one. If there's no swelling, but you want to keep an eye on the swelling if you do wrap his legs to keep the wound in place. So it usually takes about a week for the wound to seal, regardless if you do stitches or not. But the arnica is really going to help a lot. They're arnica homeopathic pills, and then you can go to the rust toxin, rutagral. That's for the Apis. It's for the swelling, and you could use arnica is good for pain, and aconite's good for pain too, but you can only use aconite for a little periods of time, like probably 2 days at the most, because it's real strong. So tea tree oil uses many is used for many things. You don't want to put it on dogs. A lot of people kill their dogs with tea tree oil. You only need a tiny, tiny bit, but if you mix it with the bentonite clay, it heals the wound perfectly well. As long as you have, you know, keep an eye on it, but it really seals it. The bentonite clay and the tea tree oil, and you can use the trace minerals. Okay, so you want to keep an eye on it. So let's say it's on the tendon, or if they start to get proud flesh, well, believe it or not, you can just throw lime on it. Just a little bit of lime will eat that proud flesh away, and just keep an eye on it. But really, the trace minerals is going to help it a lot. And the bentonite clay with the arnica. Okay, basically that's it. So, and then if your horse has to be stalled for a long time, you know, a lot of people hate Pirelli. You guys that's your choice to do that. Yes, you know, he may have some bad practices sometimes. I don't know what's going on with him, but basically it might have been taken out of context. But if you learn the 7 games of Pirelli, you are going to have a safe horse, okay? And also do the waterhole rituals of Carol Resnick. This blog probably doesn't work, but she is the first thing I would do is Carol Resnick. Get the connection with your horse and then learn the 7 games. And this is a good one too. And then Vetricin, okay? And then you can see where this mare came in. Yeah, big hole in her chest for training. And then it's sealed up. No, this was the hole, and then it's sealed up. This is just the Vetricin and the bentonite clay that I put in there. So definitely if you got an impaction like that, you do, even though I hate vaccines, you do want to give the tetanus shot or give the tetanus nosodes, okay? So then the next one is colic, okay? So we got colic there. And I wonder if this shows me. I just don't know how to get back to, I don't want to do that. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. So I came back to it. Okay. So colic is the second, it's one of the leading causes of death in horses. And it's also in my book, Natural Equine Remedies, and it goes really into depth. And you can get the free colic remedy prevention protocol, which has been used many a times by people all over the United States and abroad. And so let me get it here. It's bowed tendon, bruised heels, chronic COPD. COPD is extremely hard colds and flus. There's our colic. Yeah, okay, here's our colic. So talks about it here. Shows you the signs. Unfortunately, my teacher doesn't do this anymore. One day I'm going to update this book. But you can get the Dizen from doTERRA, Dizen, and that works really, really well. Okay. So, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So, we're on colic. So that's the #1 killer. Definitely call your vet. But in the book, it shows you how to remedy it. They don't make this anymore, but what you do is you use the Dizen. That's the main formula, and the cayenne pepper, which it shows you down here. The high track, and the high track works really, really well. Hopefully I can finish this video. Anyways, it's colic, so it tells you about it, and a lot of times horses have to be euthanized. But so it just talks about what they do. But basically they just do fluids, IV fluids, and they do the mineral oil. So choke is the #1. There's a lot of reason for choke. It's not in my Natural Equine Remedies book because it wasn't really, you know, a big deal. You know, choke, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think choke is caused by ivermectin, because ivermectin warmer is a nerve inhibitor and it will kill the nerves up by the back of the brain. I still have my horse here, so you can see it's a nerve inhibitor, and it kills all the nerves that go down the spine, and so the nerves in the throat. A lot of horses at the track will have that roaring sound, and that's usually caused by ivermectin, overuse of it. So that's my theory. But teeth need to be done, and you definitely have to call a vet for that because I would not know how to do it. So choke is a blockage, so you want to make sure that you soak your hay pellets. We use Stanley Timothy hay pellets. If you use any other hay pellets, make sure you soak them really well so they can chew them. Beet pulp is like the worst thing in the world you could give a horse. A lot of horses have choke with beet pulp. I've seen it many times. Tying up. Tying up is a breakdown of the muscle tissue of excessive exercise and the lactic acid, in my opinion, that gets trapped in their system. They say it's a genetic abnormality, an inheritable storage disease known as PSSM. It's toxic to the kidneys, fluids, or IVs is what's given to tying up. And I don't have tying up in my book, but I do have, I think it's under the wounds. I do have the, let's see, ulcers. West Nile, no. Wound remedies. You do want to give black wool sunflower seeds, and that helps with, don't know where it is in here. It's not under ulcers. It's not under that. Parasites. No, here it is. Well, here's the black wool sunflower seeds. So that would help with the, this is muscle remedies. So you want to have black wool sunflower seeds. Chia seeds are good. And the homeopathics are Apis rustox and apple cider vinegar. And you can, this is for like more sore muscles, like if the horse overstretches, it's not really tying up. But the black oil sunflower seeds will do really good. And you want to use the Minizyme from Big Sky Minerals. The Minizyme will help prevent a lot of tying up. Okay, so puncture wounds and feet. We covered that on wounds. Something like this, I definitely do the clay and the tea tree oil and the trace minerals. This one, I would probably wrap overnight and then let it dry out, but I wouldn't take off the clay or the tea tree oil, but it would seal up, or you can use the Vettersen, whatever. But and then when the proud flesh comes with this, what I would do is use the lime over it so the proud flesh wouldn't get over it, and you just have to sprinkle a little bit. And as far as the wound, you want to make sure that you use Lendum, Lendum homeopathic 30 cc's. That will get the whatever's in there of the puncture wound. It's 4 puncture wounds. You want to get that out, and that is in my book, Homeopathic Natural Equine Remedies. So fractures. Fractures are hairy because most of the time you have to put the horse down. So, but if they're hairline fractures, you could use, it begins with an S, something, and I can't really say it very well, but it begins with an S. SYMPHTYUM. That's for fractures and bone injuries. Works really super fast. Silica works too for scar tissue and abscesses and sand cracks, but I would use the somnium, and then I would use arnica. Definitely, if you want to prevent that, you want to use the Big Sky Minerals, and I can tell you a story about a little filly that I had, and she came down during a little ice thing that we had over the winter. She was 3 years old. She was a thoroughbred, and I have hills, and I had a ring that was open and gravel, and she flew through that ring like a tornado. And when she went to stop, she stopped on ice, and she went like Bambi all the way around. And when she did that, you know, I thought for sure she broke something. And she got up and she ran back up to the hill. I stopped training my horse, went up there to check her. She was perfectly fine, perfectly sound, didn't break a thing, and she was on Big Sky. Okay, I believe if she was not on Big Sky, she would have broke something. So the Big Sky will make strong bones, will make strong hooves. I can guarantee it. It's amazing stuff. Eye trauma. Okay, eye trauma is in the book, Natural Equine Remedies. Okay, it is in the book under eyes. Now, do call your vet because you are going to need, a vet for whatever medication it is. Now, this is NCD. It's drops. Don't know if they make them anymore, but you can try from Waiora. Herbal Eye Bright is great for eyes. Herbs of the World has it too. You want to go to my website, www.happynaturalhorse.com. Okay, and so when you're here, you want to go over here to the product referral. And then you want to scroll down and you want to see My Fine Equines. And you want to click that. And she has eye remedies in here. Okay. You just have to look for it. I'm not going to look for it for you, but they do have, they have all the no-sods, but she has eye remedies in here that work really, really well for moon blindness. They have the EPM treatment. They got everything in here. It's really good stuff. But I don't know if she has a search bar, but I know it's in here. It's rabies, dogs. You have to go up to the top. But anyway, so she's got a really good eye formula too. But it's in my Natural Equine Remedies book. And let's see, pure herbs, herb blends for info over, skin, but anyways, it's in there. You just have to look around. It's in there. So, okay, let's go back. But most of the time you have to call your vet. Now, I also use colloidal silver if it's just a little, you know, teary-eyed and it's not too bad. And then you can use the tapping around the eye to balance the eye. It shows you there in my book, Natural Equine Remedies. Foaling, I don't have in my book, but foaling, you have to call a vet. And some people use YouTube. Grab the hooves, get the full. I mean, I have a lady in Washington State. She pulled her foal out because the vet couldn't get there, and she saved her horse's life. I don't know anything about that. What I would do is I would definitely give the arnica and the aconite for pain. I don't know if there's. I didn't put it in here, but you would have to call a vet for that. But lavender oil, probably sprayed with a little olive oil around the vulva so the horse can get the foal out and, you know, relax her. It's about the only thing I would recommend. I'm not an expert at that. This is an actual reaction, anaphylaxis. I can't really. This is an abscess that bursts in the abdomen. Okay, and the reason why it bursts, they don't know, but it could be reactions to vaccines or allergies. And I would definitely say that vaccines may have a contributor factor to it. But it also could be that if your horse is eating grain and he's eating commercial feed, he's not pooping as much. He's not using his digestive tract as much as he should be using. My horses poop like 2 or 3 times a day. You should see their poops. They have the biggest poops ever. And so that makes the muscles of their digestive tract, their stomach, their lining, their intestines, it makes them strong because they're constantly being used. So my horses are all natural. I don't do any vaccines on them. So they have a healthy gut. And so as long as you have a healthy gut, you will prevent this abscess on the abdomen. You have to remember that commercial feeds really tax the intestines because they have to produce a lot of acid to remove, you know, the grain. And so that acid eats into those, the stomach lining, and then eventually you're going to have an abscess, or you might have a tumor. And allergies are caused by a liver blockage. Liver needs to be clean. You want to keep your horse's liver clean, and you won't have allergies. And you want to keep your protein levels down, because if your horse tears a lot, then he's getting too much protein. Okay? But if this does happen, you want to give the trace minerals from the Dynamite specialty store, and you want to definitely give that. And then you want to give I definitely would give that, and you might try clay. That's about the only thing you could give, really. Oh, you could give the alum, just in case there is poison in the blood. You know, just go to the grocery store, get some alum. It's in the baking session. And you give a teaspoon every day for 3 days and see what happens, if the horse isn't dead by then. But usually they die. So you can prevent it by giving the Big Sky minerals. And I'm not, you know, I'm an advocate of Big Sky minerals because I see what it's done to hundreds of horses. What you want to do is you want to try the Big Sky minerals. You want to try the Natural Equine Remedies protocol, feeding protocol, happynaturalhorse.com. You want to try that for at least 3 months to see the difference. Laminitis is extremely preventable. I have a horse out here. He looks like he's going to have laminitis any day, but his neck is, you know, it's thick, but it's not, it's loose. It's not hard. It's not crusty. He's on full pasture. We just had rain yesterday. It's going to be, now that the moon's changing over, he's not going to have as much green lush pasture as he used to. But as long as he's on the Big Sky minerals, he's going to digest the sugars that causes laminitis. So, and as long as you have the high track, and my horses get high track every single day, you know, every time they get fed, they get high track, okay? Especially in the summertime, because the temperatures change all the time. In the fall, they get it every day, all their lives. They always get high track because it balances the gut on the pH, and it keeps the gut moving. And so no bacteria sits in. The Big Sky moves everything out, you know, whatever stuff is in there. There's 3 clays in there. And it helps digest the sugars from the grasses, and that's why it's preventable. I've had a lot of IR horses that have been tested by a vet with laminitis IR, and in a year of being on Big Sky, they retest them again, and they don't have it anymore. So that's pretty amazing. So, but if this happens, you want to do the laminitis protocol, which is in my book, Natural Equine Remedies. And there it is. Let's see. There's laminitis. Okay? So, a lot of people give bute. That really damages the tissue. You can take 2 cups of magnesium sulfate, mix it in warm water, and you can syringe it into your horse twice a day, and that's supposed to help too. The magnesium will dilate the blood vessels. But here's the protocol right here. The apis, the belladoma, you do that on the onset, okay? Now, if there's a chronic flare-up, you do this. If it's seedy toe, you do this. My horse had seedy toe. I had the most stupidest farriers for 3 years. I had a guy come out, and he couldn't even tell me. I guess she's going to the grocery store with him. So this absolutely, I think it was the 4th day of giving her the colic floor on the seedy toe. It was gone. I was like shocked. It was totally gone. And, but she wasn't, can't remember if she was on Big Sky then. Don't think she was. She might have been. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, she was on, we just started on the Big Sky. So abscesses, it tells you what to do. And this is from 1929 remedy. And this remedy really works. And it's in the book, Natural Equine Remedies. So you really want to get this book. For 20 bucks, you really want to get this book. Okay. definitely want to get that foot straight in cold water with ice, even though they tell you not to do it. But it is, I would do that. I would definitely do that to stop the blood, you know, to stop the rotation. Inability to rise. So it's like trauma, parasite, neurological disease, malnutrition, the horse can't rise. Again, high track with a tablespoon of cayenne pepper in the mouth. With West Nile, we have the West Nile protocol in the Natural Equine Remedies. But most of the time, if the horse is older and he can't get up and he's arthritic, then you want to go ahead and humanely euthanize him. But sometimes horses cast, and you know, if they cast for a really long period of time, it can upset them too. Fever, okay, so fever, infectious, non-infectious, autoimmune, and inflammatory events may cause a elevated temperature of 101. Anti-inflammatories are essential, which is bute, but you can use belladonna. Belladonna I've used for myself, for my children. Works great, breaking their fever. I had a huge fever back in December of last year, and it was horrible. And I used the belladonna during the day, and yes, I had to use ibuprofen at night, but it really works. And then you want to syringe apple cider vinegar with the cayenne pepper. You want to use the oregano oil on the lymph nodes. You want to use them on the lymph nodes of the horse. Put it straight on. If you're going to lose your horse, you want to put it straight on. And I would put it straight in their mouth. I would not dilute it. You want to, you know, if you're going to lose your horse anyway, you want to get that fever down. You want to break whatever's in there. And the oregano oil is great for killing most viruses and most infections. So I would also back it up if the horse, when it finally does eat, I would give it olive leaf, and we've had great success with olive leaf. They can come in tablets at the vitamin shop, or you can get them in powdered form. If it's in powdered form, I would only use a ½ ounce because it's pretty strong. If you get it in pill form, you could probably use like about 4 pills per feeding to give the horse to boost it. Or you could go to Herbs of the World, and you could get the immune booster, which is the echinacea, and use that for a week. That's going to help a lot. But if you can't get that in time, you can run to the store and get the echinacea. And you get the echinacea, and you just syringe it. You just syringe it into the mouth. You make it into a strong tea, mix it with some apple cider vinegar, and syringe it into that horse's mouth. You will be amazed. Give the belladonna, give the oregano oil, and boom. It's all in my book, Natural Equine Remedies. So I hope you have a good day. These are the 12 emergencies, the main ones. And I'm just, you know, of course, call your vet. I'm not a vet. These are natural remedies to help your horse through it until the vet arrives. So I've had many people call me and tell me that the remedy for colic was fantastic. And by the time the vet got there, the horse was up and eating, and it was doing great. So sorry about the interruptions, but that's life, you know. And subscribe to my channel. Share this, because this is going to save horses' lives. This is maybe my most valuable video that I've ever shared. And buy the book, Natural Equine Remedies. Go to naturalequineremedies.com. You get both books for $50. How to identify and release your horse's pain points. Subscribe to my channel. Comment. Tell me what you think. Okay? Bye.